Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you the steps that I follow for drawing a panda. The first step is to sketch out an outline of the animal. Take as much time as you need and make sure that it comes out proportionally correct. Once you're done with your rough sketch, you can sharpen out some of the details such as the eyes and the fur patterns with a darker pencil. The next step is to lay down a rough layer of white charcoal all over the panda's face. This excludes the eyes, the ears, and the nose. After you finish that layer, blend it out using a blending stump or your preferred blending method. The blending stump is the easiest with the white charcoal since it's nice and soft, but make sure that it's clean so that you're not getting any substance into the white charcoal. Next, using the white charcoal still, make little dashes around the edges of your sketch to fuzzy up the edges of the white area that you just made. This way, it looks like there's actual fur protruding out from the area instead of just having a straight, distinctive line from where the white area stops from the page. Then, using black charcoal or ink, outline the eyes, nose, and mouth. Make sure to do this very carefully since these areas are over top of the white. Now we'll be using the white charcoal pencil to fuzzy up the entirety of the white area. This is inside the white instead of on the edges. By doing this, use your pencil and make little strokes by just flicking your wrist out with the pencil in the direction that the fur is going in. Now we'll be adding shading on top of the white fur that we just drew. For this part, I used a 3H graphite pencil, and I used the same little flicking motions of my wrist right over top of the white fur. Next, we'll be filling in the black fur around the eyes with a black charcoal pencil. Remember to leave a little white rim around the eyes instead of filling in the whole thing with black. And then when we're done with that, I'm using a white gel pen to add shines on top of the eyes. This next part is the part that took me the longest throughout the entire drawing. Fill in and blend the charcoal on the fur of the ears and arms. You can fill in the entire thing with a very rough layer, just like we did with the white fur, and then blend out with a blending stump over top of that. Then remember to fuzzy up the outlines of the black fur with the little flicks of your wrist on the edges again. This is done the exact same way as we did with the white area, and serves the exact same purpose of making the drawing look fuzzy. The only element of this step that we won't be using black charcoal for is the claws on the bottom of each paw. On these parts I used white charcoal and then surrounded them with the black from the fur. In the next step, we're moving on to the panda's stomach. To begin this, I did a nice rough layer of white charcoal and then layered over top of it with strokes of HB pencil and black charcoal. My first layer was the white charcoal and then the pencil. After that, I added in the black charcoal on top. Between each layer, I would use the blending stump to blend out the layers previous to that. Once graphite is put down, charcoal does not show up very well over top of it. I used this to my advantage, since I didn't want the whole thing to be smothered in black charcoal. Because I had already put down a layer of graphite, the layer of charcoal that I put on top was only partially showing. Now that our panda is done, we move on to the branch that he has his paws resting on top of. Just like other parts of the panda, the first thing we did was layer down a white charcoal layer. Then on top of that, I added a thin layer of 3H graphite pencil over top. By doing this, I used light, long strokes across the area. I blended this layer out and then used a little bit of charcoal on top. This part is optional, since we've already used quite a lot of charcoal in this drawing. But I used more little light, thin strokes on top and then blended those out to create more depth and value in the branch. The final step in this drawing is to clean up around the edges for any mistakenly smeared charcoal, and then add on your finishing touches. For me, my finishing touches were just to sharpen some of the areas of the drawing. It wasn't much, but to me, it really finished up the whole drawing. So I hope you all enjoyed my tutorial for a panda. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.